according to the scriptures, as it is written, I command, let it boomerang, boomerang, boomerang. Put your hands and say boomerang, 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 boomerang. We intercept the waster. We waste the waster. We oppose opposition. In the name of Jesus, we resist the resistor. Thank you, Lord. As you live here, I declare you will not be wasted. Let the waster be wasted. Let every opposition be opposed. Let every resistance break. Live here with the upper hand. Have dominion. And now we send the blood of Jesus to your father's house, to your mother's house, to your background. Anything that lifts up his head against you, in the name of Jesus, we ground it in the blood of Jesus. We ground it in the name of Jesus. Above all, any condition, pattern and cycles that are contrary to the will of God, to the word of God, to the plan of God for your life, today on the grounds of the blood of Jesus, we intercept it. Put your hands and say interception, interception, intercept, interception, interception, interception. We intercept, intercept, intercept contradiction. We intercept contradiction. We command you in the name of Jesus as more than a conqueror. Tell somebody, I declare that you are more than a conqueror. Tell two people, I declare that you are more than a conqueror.
Tanumo onunchoni ha o dama chiechele wekun oyanu chumo osole mojiake ubawo nani aya baba shushu. Amen.
What I believe. See his sunshine. sunshine is all around us, and there are beautiful clouds where you are. That's how I know that these worries will not last. I can see you've been crying and staying wide awake, asking yourself why the journey is so tough. They say tough times never last, only tough people do. So don't stop believing, I know it's gonna be better. Say la, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la, 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 ba-dum. Can't be loved by everybody, it's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay, so let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Beautiful clouds, where you are, where you are. There are beautiful clouds, where you are, where you are. Oh, oh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Farawa da sunan Allah. Yeah. Na fara shaye-shaye da bin mata. Ban sallah, ban azumi, wani na da karfi. Hey, an kira sallah, shan shiga gari. Hey, tunanai na duka ne, gobe na mutu. Yawa yana musulmai, kuyi ibada. Kabari akwai zafi, musa hankali. Hey, kabari akwai zafi, musa hankali. Eisa ka taimake ni, ka fabe ni, ka fidda ni a cikin laifi. Oh, ka taimake ni, ka fabe ni, ka fidda ni a cikin laifi. Ka taimake ni, ka fabe ni, ka fidda ni a cikin laifi. Ka taimake ni, ka fabe ni, ka fidda ni a cikin laifi. banjin magana, to ni banjin wazi, to ni banjin magana, to ni ban kula da kowa. Abinda nake so akan raina, shine zai yi. Abinda nake so akan zuciyana, shine zai yi. Wa ma zai ce bari, wa ma zai ce dena, wa ma zai ce bari, wa ma zai ce dena. To yanzu na sata, yanzu na sallah, yanzu na ibada. To yanzu na sake, yanzu na sallah, yanzu na ibada.
Non più bell'am pam, ne terega, tumdarakam, ne tukume, manim balana, tesam dagu manim balana, tesam dagu manim balana, manim balana. Subabo kamaya, jime kama, dagu shim bien till la bebe. Dagushim bien till la bébé. Toi t'armes bien goût, t'armes bien goût, t'armes bien goût.
Ya Allah, Ya Kudusu, Ya Wadudu, Ya Rashid, Ya Mujisu, Ya Kudusu, Ya Azizu, Ya Allah. Hey, Ya Allah, Ya Mujisu, Ya Rashid, Ya Allah. Kia, the cutting as a sumari. It's the way I die, Sumanda me stampy. Mary Sumata, I am dear, Angata, Nayaure, Sunanta, Umuipure, Nangata, Nayaure, Sunanta,
Ari di to Mùsùlùmí ẹ dìde lẹ́kẹ̀kẹ́ wo lọ́sàn Ramadan ojú mi ti rí lọ́sàn Ramadan wọ́n gbóúnjẹ wá mi ò nílé jẹ wọ́n gbómi wá mi ò nílé mu o àgbà tó lómi inú kí n pariwo mo ti ń gbà rẹ̀ Ari di to Mùsùlùmí ẹ dìde lẹ́kẹ̀kẹ́ wo lọ́sàn Ramadan ojú mi ti rí lọ́sàn Ramadan wọ́n gbóúnjẹ wá mi ò nílé jẹ wọ́n gbómi wá mi ò nílé mu o àgbà tó lómi inú kí n pariwo mo ti ń gbà rẹ̀.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Good morning and welcome to Metro TV. This is your cherished program. Good morning, Ghana, and today is the special edition. My name is RSM Kofi Lawson, doing it for Moro. We are delighted, as usual, to have you join us this morning as we bring you the latest in news, latest in insightful discussions and what have you. Today happened to be the holiday designed for our Muslim brothers. So, Barakadi Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. We are here to also push them as they celebrate or they do their celebration. Today we'll be having two important figures in the house for us to do the discussions. And as usual, the former news editor, former managing news editor for the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr. will be in the house. He's already seated. And we are also waiting for the former Deputy Minister for Energy, Andrew Ejapa Mesa, to help us do the discussion. We'll be taking a look at the rains and the floods that are happening in Ghana, the recurrent situation that we find ourselves in. President Mahama launches the Ghana new e-visa regime to boost trade and tourism. We'll also be taking a look at the South Africa evacuation. Over 800 Ghanaians registered for evacuation from South Africa after the known xenophobic attacks. These and other stories are on the table for discussion this morning. My name once again is RSM Kofi Lawson. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we are back, we'll begin with the holidays edition of Good Morning Ghana here. We'll be right back after this break.
Ojú mi ti rí lọ́sàn Ramadan. Kọ́ńkó jẹ wá mi ò nílé jẹ. Kọ́ńkó mi wá mi ò nílé mu o. Àgbà tó lómi inú kí n pariwo mo ti ń gbà rẹ̀. Láàrí tí tó Mùsùlùmí ẹ̀ dìde lẹ́gẹ̀gẹ̀ ń wò. Lọ́sàn Ramadan. Ojú mi ti rí lọ́sàn Ramadan.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally?
Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude. Feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Sametra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesanso Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Ethipon Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming mini zoo. Whether it's business, pleasure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Launching BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at a state university in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557 351 090 or 0575 633 307 or 030 296 0542. WhatsApp us on 0557 351 090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
Go Black Stars, go all the way till the end, to victory. We'll keep on cheering you until you have the trophy in your hands. Go Black Stars all the way. Football, it unites all of us. There is no escape from the medium of football. It unites all Ghanaian, it unites all Africa. And this time we are praying for Africa to make an impact, starting with Ghana leading the way. So watch it and support the Black Stars all the way. If your choice is Metro TV, good for you.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
You are not going to arrive in Ghana as if you are orphans. You arrive to a hero's welcome. Hero's welcome. The Chief of Staff himself has called me that he would love to join me to receive you. And he will be there leading a high-powered government delegation to receive all of you. You have seen the arrangements that the President has made. We have met and discussed a 5-item package that everybody will be entitled to. We want to show the world that we cherish our nationals. Our citizens matter to us. Yeah. You are not refugees. You are not some destitutes. Ghana is not some war zone where we cannot take care of our own. Ghana is a place to be. And that's why many, many foreigners are trooping to Ghana. If I show you the passenger numbers, the number of foreigners who come to Ghana on a daily basis, and they always feel at home. And so, as you know, you are always going to be welcome in Ghana. We will accept you as royals, Muya Yendishia, as we say in Ghana, and that is how we will welcome you.
In English, it's a hyperbole, ngezulu ihaba, where I think the Ghanaian government really overreacted. I think it's disappointing, man. I think we've had a lot of respect for Ghana as a country and for the people of Ghana, and we still do. But for them to react in the way that they did is largely dishonest, because for them to claim that there were people who were beaten up when they know there were no people beaten up, and for the Minister of Police to even echo that is absolutely ridiculous. What we saw in that video was Victoria Africa talking to someone who had broken the laws of the country, come in illegally, come in legally and stay illegally, which is something a lot of foreign nationals do. And instead of them addressing that issue in a correct manner to say, listen, we noted that there's a citizen of ours who is in the country, so broken the laws, these are our concerns, etc., etc. They decided to do a whole PR exercise that would paint South Africa as xenophobic. Very disappointing. And now we've got a lot of these Ghanaians on television actually telling us how they got into the country. Many of them are saying, I'm here in South Africa and I came on a visitor's visa, I'm staying here now, etc., etc. You know, those are the actual events, that there's a lot of law breakers in the country, and we are expecting.
until last year. Me person me free chrome ha because situation let me buy manya and I wanted to go back. I need to go back home.
We don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at how I am. I have been working as a teacher in this country. Not that Ghanaians are illegal, but the Home Affairs forced most of them to be illegal. Because some of them have permanent status, which has been revoked. I have them here. Some have business permit. They came with business permit. They renewed here 3 times. At the end, the other renewals, they said fraudulent. There are some Ghanaians. There was a Ghanaian lady that was knocked down by a car. I took it upon myself to claim that we have something rough, road accident fund. I pushed it to the end. I took a lawyer by myself. At the end of the payment, they said they have declined it.
Some of us outside Pretoria can't even travel by bus or their taxis, even for them to come and register their names because they are scared. Because the moment they started Kwarekwere style, then they have to divert the taxi somewhere. So how about them? What are the safety measures towards them, if necessary?
Because intimidation police ni kura timi ba waduma monim so obi bia ye but obefa kwan bia so a discard through ho ana so be intimidate ma that the whole day no ude no nyina ye basa SSS ameba inti yesre papa say ono de owano okasa yetie se pa no mpesa ya ye won krata no kura ye nko yekrumu a omo kan kire ntokwa bia nim ye ba yamfa yama yebetumi asenya akoya chiboko sebe na ye no omunya anototu bia eye me denra me hu akola no a ukofa no free airport no me hu ye ne me kan ya ne say no akola na agu ani mas because what the misinformation the airport ho omo afili form no wo me group no nyina omo frɛ me am se mo ntwen papa no se tam so a obekma mo tam na mo nyina maba airport inti obi an kan kyerɛ na wo di mirika na ko airport. But anopa me say who say wako fa na wo no kasa no me kan ya ne say hallelujah papa na yi efre ni nguase ni nyina mu nti me srew aduma papa na wo ya ne obetio ne wontie ye de mpaibo etai wachi ye ne sa amaye na yinim say you get to Kenya.
So what we are seeing or witnessing is not something that is going to end today. Most of them have put these guys who are doing these demonstrations on a payroll, a strong one. So it's not something that's going to end today. I'm looking at a worst scenario as a business owner, is in discussing with the South African counterparts, if they can actually have a takeover plan of Ghanaian businesses, because at the DTI they've got a takeover regulatory panel where they will be able to give us offers so that they can take over those businesses to their local South Africans, so that we can live peacefully. Because at times it's also so difficult having stayed for years running businesses and you just have to leave. And many of our staff are also leaving, and at the end of the day, how are we going to pay the rent?
I personally, I'm even ready to go back to Ghana, but because of certain situation, because my children are here, there's no way I can also leave them behind.
Refugee pay pennies so na force at the end of the day would be to charge ho. Mouse campo 2000 ni engineer mouse 3 months betua na san renew eno kra ye ma. Na permit no so a ye ma. Enti no omo accuse ye say Ghana for yen papers ya papa midin sra mo say enye no kore. Eye womo na womo ma yenye nkrata na nka amfo obi hu so ba bua sika no kakra na ode ayede a ebe ma no ho ahe ha no ne watumi atena oman ni mu but yenya ne senti no da bia na yemu bebre asem ayɛ mmɔbɔ.
I think that these are people that are in here voluntarily as part of those who wants to be repatriated back home. We are starting the process of screening them and ensuring that they take all the dots that they have to take, so that on Wednesday they will be the part of the 300 people that will be going to Ghana.
And why? What reason are they giving you to be here? Are they feeling threatened? They've been attacked?
Well, their lives have come to a standstill. They don't feel safe. They don't feel happy. The challenges as to these demonstrations, this rather unrest, xenophobic attacks on them, most of them feel that their time here is done, because they believe that they are here to work genuinely to help the country and also to help themselves. If that purpose is defeated, then they don't know the reason why they should continue to be in this country. So they are willing and ready to go back home, to go start life all over.
With the group of people that have been here, are there some that have been physically attacked, or is the threats and the marches that happen?
I think with the numbers that we have here, about 10, 20 people that we've documented have been attacked. Physical abuse, physical attacks. And I believe that it's not right in the Committee of Nations, especially in the AU model, that we'll be doing these sort of things to one another as Africans.
We've seen Ghana taking South Africa even to the AU. Does it mean Ghana supports illegal immigration in South Africa? What's the stance of that?
I think Ghana's problem is that the approach to which we resolve the issue. Globally, we know that illegal migration has always been a challenge, a big challenge. How we solve it proactively is what the difference is. We've engaged your South African authorities on several occasions. They've been very, very helpful.
Good morning once again. You heard us, or you were viewing some of the Ghanaians in South Africa. They are being repatriated today. Today is Wednesday, so most of them will be coming. About 300 of them will be coming to Ghana today. My name once again is RSM Kofi Dolosin, sitting in for Moru Awudu. Today is Barakah Salah. So we are wishing all our Muslim brothers Barakah Salah, and we are with them in spirit. Our guests are in, so I'll quickly introduce them and we'll start doing justice to the stories on board. As I said earlier, Kwesi Pratt Jr., we call him Uncle Kwesi. He's a former managing news editor of the Insight newspaper and the former Deputy Minister of Energy, Honorable Andrew Ejapa-Mensah, is also in the house. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
Thank you. Good morning.
I hope you are doing fine.
His grace is sufficient.
All right. Uncle Batroseboko, dear.
Yeah.
All right. Let's begin with the repatriation story. We heard about 300 of them will be coming to Ghana today. But some are of the view that South Africa some of them are not being fair to how the whole continent rallied behind them during the apartheid period. I don't know what you have to say on that. I'll begin with Uncle Kwesi Pratt.
Well, first of all, I think that we have a problem of definition. You know, a lot of people think that what is happening is xenophobic. But if you look at it closely, I'm struggling to, understand why this is called a xenophobic attack. Because if you look carefully, the people who are being attacked are not just foreigners. You have to be African to be attacked. Even in some cases, some Africans are not under attack. For example, white Africans are not under attack. It's Africans who have the color of our skin who are under attack. And therefore, it is very difficult, to agree that xenophobic attacks are taking place in South Africa. That's the first difficulty that I have. Again, I'm finding it interesting that Ghanaians, or some Ghanaians and Nigerians, are taking a superior posture, when indeed we've been guilty of the same offense. In Ghana, I think it was around 1969 or so, we introduced the Aliens Compliance Order. And many, many Africans went through horrendous experiences I was a little boy then, and I remember what is today called Accra New Town used to be called Lagos Town. The vast majority of the people who lived there were Nigerians, you understand. They left. They couldn't even arrange to dispose of their properties and so on. They had to leave. They were harassed. They were carted in articulated trucks like cows and so on. We did that in 1969. Then in the 70s, the Nigerians retaliated, with the Ghana Must Go, what happened, what was then known as Ghana Must Go. And Ghanaians in Nigeria were treated horribly. They were driven out, also like cows and so on. So this is not new. It's happened in history. It's happened in our recent history. We've done it in Ghana. We've done it in Nigeria. We've done it elsewhere in Africa and so on. So this is how I like to see it. Again, I want to be sure about what is causing this. Okay, what is it that is causing this, hatred against fellow Africans, especially Black Africans, if I may put it that way. What is it that is causing this? It seems to me that the major reason is the continued system of apartheid in South Africa. Our fight against apartheid was not completely won. So that today, in South Africa, you still have white-only communities. Today, in South Africa, you still have a situation where about 80% of the land of South Africa is owned by white settlers. You still have a situation where today, the vast majority of the South African population lives in extreme, and I mean extreme poverty. In Accra, we see Nima as a slum. The places we see as slums in Accra, in Ghana, are heaven compared to the shanty towns in South Africa, where people actually live in tin houses without access to potable water, without access to roads, without access to electricity and so on. They live in pretty horrible conditions. The unemployment rate in South Africa is staggering, you understand? Police brutality against indigenous South Africans and so on is horrifying and so on. Now, most of these people are lumping elements, and they do not understand the history that we talk about. They do not even know the role that Osagyefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, and others played in the fight against apartheid. It's outside their purview. They don't even know that. Okay. So they are living in extreme poverty, and South Africa is an advanced society. It's an economically advanced society, economically, industrially advanced society. So they are living in their tin houses in the shanty towns and so on. And then they see prosperity also around them, people driving Lamborghinis and so on, And they're trying to explain it. And they're so simple that the simple explanation which they find is that foreigners are taking the wealth of South Africans. For me, there's something which is very significant. Some of these foreigners, in fact, a large number of these foreigners, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, and so on, are medical practitioners. They are scientists, they are teachers, and so on. So even if you got rid of them, these lumping elements in the shanty towns cannot do the jobs that these foreigners are doing. So it makes no sense to start a wave which drives out so-called foreigners in anticipation that their jobs will be made available to South Africans when the South Africans don't have the skills, to occupy those positions. It's not realistic, it's silly, you understand? The other dimension of the problem is that it is not all South Africans who have jumped upon this bandwagon, you understand? There are many South Africans who are fighting against these xenophobic manifestations. Indeed, the Communist Party of South Africa, which is a partner in the ANC, is in alliance with the ANC, is engaged in a vigorous campaign against xenophobia. COSATU, which is the largest trade union confederation in South Africa, is also engaged in a battle against xenophobia. And then there is NUMSA, the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, is also engaged in this battle against xenophobia. And then, most importantly, the Shack Dwellers movement of South Africa is also engaged in a fight against xenophobia. The national leadership of South Africa, we're talking about the presidency, the government, and so on, is also vigorously engaged in a fight against xenophobia. Okay, so it is not the entire South African society which is, which has embarked upon this reckless path of xenophobia. Now, I also want to look at our reaction to what is described inappropriately as xenophobia. I think some of the reactions that I'm seeing are absolutely negative, would not lead to a resolution of the problem, but would exacerbate, the problem. For example, I've heard some Nigerian senators advocating the closing down of South African businesses, the expulsion of South Africans in our sub-region and so on. If you do that, you only exacerbate the problem. You don't solve the problem. It becomes a tit for tat and does not resolve the problem in any way. I think it's important for us to understand that Africa's prosperity, Africa's future, is largely dependent on our unity. And this point has been made for hundreds of years, the need for Africans to unite. If Africans don't unite, if we don't integrate our economies, if we don't build a united armed forces and so on, Africa will continue to suffer underdevelopment and poverty. So if we realize that the way out of our current problems of underdevelopment, of poverty, of abuse of our sovereignty and so on, lies in building a bigger Africa, a united Africa, and so on, then we ought to take measures which emphasize that and do not deepen the current state of division and so on. I'm happy that we have taken measures, immediate measures, to repatriate our citizens. It does make sense, take them out of harm's way. In addition to repatriating the citizens, we've also tabled this as a subject of discussion at the next AU summit. And I think that it is proper that we do that. African heads of states, African foreign ministers and so on needs to discuss these matters so that we can find a common solution to the problem. I'm also happy that the South African government itself has taken a very strong stand against xenophobia. Yes, it's a declaration, and others have said that they would have expected that that declaration is backed by action. That those people, on the rampage on the streets and so on, will be dealt with according to law, they'll be arrested and prosecuted and so on. That hasn't happened. But the South African government statement is encouraging. The statement itself is very encouraging. While saying this, I also need to recognize that there have been a number of very irresponsible political leaders in South Africa. So, for example, there's a report of a mayor who actually organizes gangs. They go around, they drive people out of their shops, they take the keys to their shops and hand it over to South Africans. And this is an illegality, complete illegality, and it doesn't help anybody and so on. There are some who also see this as something which can help them win elections, can help in the mobilization to win elections and so on. These are obviously very backward politicians. These are obviously people who do not understand the current reality in Africa and even within South Africa itself. Yesterday, I listened to a video message from Thabo Mbeki, who is a former president of South Africa. And Thabo Mbeki argues very strongly that the economic situation in South Africa is not caused by foreigners. You know, this is a former president of South Africa. He says the unemployment is not because of foreigners, and so on. And that it is because South Africa, after apartheid, has not been able to put in radical measures to deal with the post-apartheid situation in order to improve the living standards of the South African people. Of course, he's not the only one who has taken this stand. I've listened to Julius Malema, who has taken a very, very strong stand against xenophobic attacks, you know. And he says that Africa belongs to all Africans, and so on. So this is the current situation. I do hope that the discussions at the AU summit will lead to some significant, you know, forward movement, which emphasizes the fact that Africans, you know, have a right to be in Africa. We are talking about a visa-free, you know, arrangement for Africans. Yeah. Many African countries are beginning to consider that when Africans are going to other African countries, they should not be encumbered with you know, the need for visas and so on. We're actually talking about one passport for all Africans and so on. How do we do this in the face of what is happening in South Africa? You know, this morning when I came and sat here, I saw something and it made me laugh. There's an advert on your screen, you know, advertising places in South African universities and asking Ghanaians to apply. That's a joke. Who is going to apply to go to a South African university now, given these circumstances? So obviously that advert, the advertiser is wasting his or her money, you know, because clearly nobody is going to apply to go to South Africa under any circumstances. Now, the other time, I made the point that I visit South Africa quite often, at least 3 times a year. Okay. One, because I teach in South Africa, and occasionally I go to South Africa to give public lectures. I have many friends in South Africa, so I go there quite regularly, at least 3 times a year. You understand? And as a matter of fact, I have never been attacked. Mm-hmm. Nobody has even insulted me. Just insults. I go to South Africa and I don't see any attack. I don't see any hostility. I walk about freely. You know, I do whatever I want to do. I have many South African friends, whites, blacks, colors, and so on. I don't have that problem. You understand? So there's a bit of exaggeration about what is happening. This morning, you saw the Ghana embassy officials, and they had a number of hundreds in the embassy seeking to come back home. And the question was asked, do you have any people here who have been attacked? And the answer was 10. We just saw it. All of us just saw it on our screen. 10. You understand? To attack even one person is not acceptable. You understand? I'm not saying that because the number is 10, it is okay. Because to attack even one person is not acceptable. But also to create the impression that there is total mayhem and so on, I think is not true to the fact. I've seen a statement from the South African government which also alleges that some of the videos we are seeing are not true. That they are not videos from South Africa, that these videos are being put out as part of the effort to undermine South Africa's credibility in international affairs and so on. And there may be good reason for that. You know, South Africa is playing a very prominent role in the fight against, you know, modern forms of apartheid and so on elsewhere around the world. And there are governments and intelligence agencies which have an interest in denting the image of South Africa, and we cannot ignore that also. So, what is my wish? My wish is that the next AU summit, you know, finds a way of resolving this matter. My wish is that Ghana's foreign ministry, which appears to be doing quite well with this matter, continues to do well, seek the welfare of our citizens there, and also calm nerves so that this does not degenerate into an African versus African, warfare to the detriment of the future development of Africa.
Amogosi, thank you very much. But aside, we waiting for the meeting of AU to deliberate on what is happening. What can the South African government do as a matter of urgency? Because we all know they've come out with statements, they are having discussions on the matter, but how can they marshal the security forces in making sure that those who are engaged in the act, the known ones, are picked up by the security people for questioning and stuff? Because there are Ghanaians who are feeding some of us with what is happening. And I think there are particular areas that these things are taking place. What do you think, as a matter of urgency, the government of the day, the security agencies, can do so that we can curtail the situation before we move to the AU meeting you are talking about?
My brother, there's a number of assumptions in what you're saying which are not true. Okay. First and foremost, this is not a new problem. Under apartheid, and you can talk to many Ghanaians who have the experience, South Africans, when they spoke about foreigners, meant black Africans. South Africans under apartheid, if you came from Germany and so on, didn't strike them that you were a foreigner. And that is the result of decades, years, of deliberate indoctrination through the apartheid education system and so on. Okay. South Africans were made to feel that other Africans were inferior to them and that the apartheid regime, made them superior to the rest of us in Africa. So this is a problem which has been festering for a very, very long period. You don't tackle this problem by police action or by force. You may use the police and some level of force in order to protect citizens, in order to restore sanity and so on. But ultimately, this problem lies in completely uprooting the apartheid system and its remnants. It lies in developing a new educational curriculum. It lies in resetting the entire South African society. If we fail to do that, this problem would fester. Look, I go to a place called Bella Bella in Limpopo. And if you go to Bella Bella in Limpopo, there are large tracts of land. In fact, the thing there is that these white settlers have bought these lands and they use it for, game tourism. They rear deers, animals and so on. People come to shoot the animals to pay a fee. You hardly find blacks owning land in Bella Bella. So many years after apartheid, you hardly find blacks owning land in Bella Bella. There are communities in which, if you see any black person, that black person is a servant, a gardener, or a driver. There are white-owning communities still in South Africa. We need to deal with that problem. South Africa needs to deal with its development problems. The level of poverty you see in South Africa is shocking. I went to a shanty town in Joburg. I couldn't believe that I was in South Africa. Complete depravity, nothing, just zinc houses. And these zinc houses catch fire every now and then, and they lose everything they have, including their lives and so on. So the poverty levels in South Africa, the inequality in South Africa is so huge that the South African government ought to pay attention to that. Again, some of the crimes which were committed against black people in South Africa continue up to today. I don't know if you heard about the Maracana massacre, where black workers, protesting against bad conditions of service and so on, were gunned down. The police simply just went there and gunned them down. That is like the Sharpeville massacre and apartheid. You understand? I went to Soweto. That's some time ago. I mean, soon after apartheid, I was in Soweto. And my brother, you'll be surprised, I went to Soweto. The black South Africans were actually showing me houses which had been built for them under apartheid, and houses which had been built for them post-apartheid. And we're actually complaining that the houses which the apartheid regime built for them was better, much more comfortable than the one which was built by the ANC. Yes, sir. So this is the situation in South Africa. And this is a situation which has to be dealt with in order to remove the root causes of this backwardness. You understand? Look, why do you think that the ANC is losing power? Today, the ANC has entered into an alliance with the DA. Without the DA, the ANC cannot be in power. The ANC is the National Liberation Movement which fought against apartheid. It's becoming unpopular every day. Why do you think it is so? It is so because the ANC is not delivering. It's because post-apartheid South Africa is not addressing the concrete needs of the people of South Africa, especially the black population. This is the problem, and this is the problem that needs to be solved.
Honorable. Yes, my brother.
Let me hear your take on this very matter.
Before I start, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers and to wish a happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters who are celebrating the Feast of Sacrifice today. It is my prayer that Allah Himself would accept their prayer and their sacrifice and bring them joy and happiness in the coming year. Nkwesi has said a lot about the xenophobic, if you like, issues in South Africa. I'm not so sure whether it's a question of definition, right? Because there's a clear demonstration of irrational fear, hatred, or deep dislike for people who are seen as foreigners or outsiders. And that's a classic definition of xenophobia, and that's what is manifesting in South Africa today. And it's not new. Post-apartheid, we saw the issues that the socioeconomic differences in South Africa, generated. They felt that if the black South Africans who have been under apartheid for so long had no jobs, didn't have proper housing, and foreigners, skilled foreign personnel who were coming in were getting all the jobs, which they didn't have the skills to have anyway. That then bred the hatred and dislike. We've had incidents since 1994, which has gotten to its head. Even in 2015 and 2026, of course, last year or 2 years ago, we had the incidents in some parts of Durban and other places. I think that, like I said, Nkwesi has said a lot. There's no need for me to belabor the point. The thing is this, that I would have thought that the incidents that we had in Ghana in 1969 and in Nigeria in 1970, we've put them behind us because we've come a long way with the kind of work that our leaders have done in trying to deepen the integration of Africa. I would have thought that, these things would become a thing of the past. But clearly, the inequalities in South Africa hasn't gone away. It's actually deepening in some sections. And so it's important that the South African government ups its game and try and conclude the redistribution efforts that has been at the center of post-apartheid ANC governance architecture empower many more of the South Africans, provide them the requisite skills, training, so that they can find jobs in South Africa. I don't think that we can do away with immigration. As a people, there will be the need for us to move around as and when. I have good friends in South Africa, Ghanaians who are living in South Africa doing well, who have not been affected, like he said, with the issues that are coming up in the recent days. But of course, some of our compatriots have been affected. And so how is it that as a continent, we are able to talk amongst ourselves as governments, as leaders, to try and accommodate each other within the spirit of the African Union, which we are hoping would move beyond the talk and the economic integration to actual African unity, okay, as envisioned by our forebears, led by Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and co. I think it's important that we aspire to get to that point. If that aspiration is there, how does issues like this help in fostering that integration that we seek to achieve? It's not the best. And so governments ought to work harder to make sure that the issues within their various countries, including South Africa, is resolved, to accommodate foreigners who come in. We have a lot of foreigners here in our country, a whole lot of Nigerians, Zimbabweans, people from all across Africa who are living in Ghana, enjoying their peace, going about their duties without any hassle from us. Because like I said, we moved away from the 1969 Aliens Compliance Order regime. I'm not sure we're ever going to go back. Regardless, we've seen, yes, the objection to Nigerians participating in trade within our markets that are reserved for Ghanaians. But they have never really escalated to the point where we've asked for the removal of Nigerians from Ghana. Same way, we have a lot of Ghanaians who, in spite of the 1970s, late 70s retaliation of Ghana must go, are still resident in Nigeria and, going about their economic activities in peace. It's in our collective best interest. And so as much as possible, whatever it is that our leaders can do at a continental level, to ensure that there's peace and harmony across our countries, ought to be pursued vigorously. That said, I think it's commendable that the Foreign Ministry has taken steps to, as it were, repatriate our compatriots who have been affected by these disturbances back home. It seems to me, like Ankwesi said, that you do not have that broad-based attacks, like the 10th example that was cited. So how is it that we are having 600 people looking to come back home? Is it the case that some people are also taking advantage to get a free ride into Ghana? I don't know. But of course, if the environment is such that they have a fear for their lives, then it stands to reason that if the government is making available such facilities, they take advantage of same and come back home. Question is, if they come, how do they get resettled? Is it the case that the government of Ghana will have to bear some cost in resettling them? We are yet to know. We haven't been told of the details. But of course, I'm sure that in the coming days, we'll get to know the plans that the government has for them. But that said, I think that as much as possible, the diplomatic engagement should continue so that we can create an environment where we can each cohabit within our countries in peace. Yeah, that'll be my take on this subject matter.
All right. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the floods again. And we've been discussing this matter for a very long time, but the situation is worsening as we move on. What is really the problem? How do we manage this situation? We'll be right back after this break.
ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend, Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friend, me once now.
Hey, that's a new.
Improve.
Yeah.
Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friend is Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Come tum preko.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. a throwback to a bygone era when love was service. A silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
This Easter, Estate Masters Limited is giving you more reasons to celebrate in our extended Easter promo. Secure your dreamland at Nest Cottage, Chapoli with a massive 15% discount. Or choose Palm Hills, Gomwa Pamfukurum, also at 15% discount. And for lovers of the coast, Coastal Park, Ningo Prampram awaits you at 10% discount. Plus, enjoy free site visits and free documentation because we make land ownership simple. This Easter, don't just celebrate, invest in your future. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Hi, my name is Ochame Kwame, the Rap Doctor, and all I'm saying is, during this World Cup, make Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM your official amazing production houses to watch all your tidbits, your behind the scenes, and get authentic news about the Black Stars and all the World Cup and enjoy. Tune in. Ochame Kwame, salute.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
Welcome once again to Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV. We are in the studios with Japa Mesa, Honorable, and Uncle Kwesi Pratt. We are zooming in right away to the floods. It has been a yearly ritual. We are always talking about floods. We are always, giving out solutions, but year in, year out, the challenge keep on worsening. What is the problem? How do we manage the situation? Are we not tired about the long talk so that we can move into action to solve the problems? Do we really have engineers at the various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies? What is the problem? Uncle Kwesi, I've heard you on a number of occasions talking about these things. But I don't know. I don't know what we can do now, because right now, whenever it rains, it is very, 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 very difficult for you to even get to your house. I don't know how, as a country, we can manage this situation.
Well, for me, my biggest problem is that the rains have just started. Just started. And look at the crisis we are getting. I'm also told that this year, the rains will be quite heavy. So I can imagine what will happen a month from now. Yesterday, I saw videos of parts of Accra, and I was really frightened. Flood waters, just taking motorbikes and cars and so on. Very, very alarming. Last week I was trying to get home, and I live in Musuku. And around Domi, I couldn't go because the bridge was just flooded. And I struggled to find a way to my house. I tried to use the Atomic Road, the Kwabena Road. It was flooded. So it's a big problem. It's not a small problem at all. It's a very big problem. Last week, I tried to go to Cape Coast, and And then after Anumabo, the road was so flooded, it took us many hours to cross the road. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. You understand? So we need to do something about the problem. But first and foremost, what is the problem? I believe that one of the problems has to do with just planning. And if you know, in Ghana, especially in Accra, planning does not precede settlement. People move into an area, they start building their houses and so on before we start planning. Yeah. That's a big problem. Okay. 2, it has to do with engineering. It's just engineering. You know, when it rains, a lot of water pours into Accra from the mountains, Buri and so on. You know, a lot of water pours into Accra. That water comes with a lot of silt. And the silt eventually settled in Odo, settles in the huge gutters at Alajo and so on. So with small rain, water spills over and there's crisis, you know, all over. If we could just desilt these waterways, you know, on a regular basis, I think that at least we can minimize the problem just by desilting, you know, constantly desilting these waterways. Then there's the problem of haphazard construction of buildings. Big men and women, I don't know what is wrong with them, appear to like waterways. So if you go to the areas around the airport, all the waterways, you know, people have built mansions on the waterways. And when it rains, it blocks the passage of the water and contributes to the general mayhem. So there are also natural water retention reservoirs. You know, somewhere in Medina, for example, there used to be a lake. Around the lakeside estate, you know, there used to be a lake. People actually filled parts of the lake to build houses on, you know, and destroyed this natural water reservoir, which contained a lot of water, you know. That is part of the problem. The other part of the problem has to do with the designs of our homes. So, today you go to many houses and the floor is concrete. In fact, even in some houses, the floor is tiled. There's no space for absorbing water. So all the water just runs out, fills the gutters, and then we are in crisis. Can we design our houses in such a way that the floor, you know, the compound, can soak water? That's part of the crisis that we are having. The design of houses is a major problem. In some other areas, water harvesting is part of the building design. Okay. And if you harvest your water, the water then does not hit the ground to cause havoc. The water then is preserved for use, you know, for it becomes useful. Yeah. You understand? But water harvesting, I think, has come to an end. I mean, not many people are harvesting water. Many people are actually now digging boreholes instead of harvesting water. I do water harvesting. And after the rain season, you can have enough water to last you many months just by harvesting rainwater. If you harvest rainwater, it prevents the rain from gathering and causing the kind of havoc that we are seeing around. So maybe we want to encourage rain harvesting, you know. I actually have a friend who stays at Peduasi, just behind Peduasi, and who harvests rainwater. You know, he has these huge underground tanks, and he's harvesting rainwater. He has enough water stored to satisfy the water needs of the whole community around him, just by harvesting water. Now, if he didn't harvest this water would simply have flowed, you know, into the Odo, to Alajo and so on, and caused us considerable havoc. So I think we need to start planning. Okay. One of the things that I also find which is interesting, I mean, if you travel, those of you who travel a bit, anywhere in the world, as the plane begins to land, you see that the cities are surrounded with farms, agricultural, which feed the city. When you are landing at the Accra International Airport, what do you see?
Buildings.
All those areas where people used to farm, grow cabbages, onions, and so on, to feed the city, have been taken over by houses and so on. So peri-urban agriculture itself has suffered, and the suffering that peri-urban agriculture has suffered has had an impact on how to manage water. I mean, these were areas which used to soak a lot of water. Now you have this huge mansion, tiled from head to toe, and so on, which are not soaking water. So it creates a flooding problem. It also creates a food problem at the same time, and so on. So I'm hoping that at some stage, our planners will get to work, our engineers will get to work, and begin to redesign, the habitat known as Ghana, redesign it. I recently visited the northern part of Ghana, and there was a dam which was proposed in the 7-year development plan of Nkrumah. It was meant, first and foremost, to help with irrigation in that area, so we could grow tomatoes, we would not depend on Burkina Faso for the supply of tomato and so on. But also so we could generate electricity, to minimize the dependence on the national grid, on Akosombo and Pong and so on. We've abandoned the project. Anytime the Burkinabes spill water because their dam, is overflowing and so on, look at the havoc it causes. Couldn't we have built a receptor dam, which will hold this water, which we can then use for irrigation, which we can use for generating electricity, and which we may even use for water transport? Because water transport is a reality. So I think there is a problem with planning, it's a problem with engineering, it's a problem with general management of land, how to use land, and so on. These are the problems, and these are not problems for a journalist like me to solve.
Yeah.
These are problems for engineers, these are problems for planners, and so on. And they better get to work and solve it, because it appears to be getting worse. I don't have the data, but from what I see with my eyes and what I feel around and so on, it appears to be getting worse. Look, we are only in the first few weeks of the rainy season, and look at the havoc everywhere. Yeah. I think it's a big problem that needs urgent attention.
Ejapa.
Honorable Ejapa.
It's interesting, the personal solutions of allowing green spaces in our compounds as opposed to tiling and rain harvesting that Uncle Kwesi proposes. They are good on the personal level. I suppose that if we all collectively do the same, maybe the effect of flooding will be minimized. I suppose that's the point that he was trying to make. I see, we failed as a state, pure and simple. And to the extent that as far back as 1960, and my good friend Kwame Sapon-Asido, my senior, just sent me a Daily Graphic publication, 1960, when the floods came to Accra. Okay, I think it was on the Monday, April 18, 1960, when the rain came to Accra. And consistently over the years, these are matters that we've grappled with as a country. Drainage systems, storm drains, and all that have not been able to accommodate the growing population of Accra. And so that's why political commitments that people make, especially when they promise a reset, ought to be held and asked, or questions asked as to what it is that they are doing to deal with the problem in accordance with the promises that they made. I agree, it's a perennial problem. But the current government made promises knowing very well that these problems exist, and asked Ghanaians to vote for them. If they come, they're going to solve them. So I asked the question, for example, that on page 64 of the manifesto, 67 of the current ruling NDC government, they promised that they were going to construct water retention and detention reservoirs in flood-prone communities to reduce perennial flooding and for irrigation and other purposes. What has happened to this promise? Because as far as I'm concerned, between 2025 and 2026 that they've been in government, I haven't cited any water retention reservoirs being built anywhere in Ghana. What has happened to the commitment on the same page 67 to construct and improve drainage systems in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, Koforidua, and other flood-prone cities and towns and town areas? What has happened to the commitment to construct water storage facilities, reservoirs, to store rain and pipe-borne water? What has happened to the commitment to building water detention ponds in flood-prone cities for flood control and irrigation? What has happened to repairing and maintaining drainage systems such as those on the Odo River to substantially manage water resources? What has happened to constructing storm drainage systems in critical urban areas to mitigate flood risk? Because that's what the people in Alajo and other communities in Accra, in Chado and other places who are facing the floods today, in Achimota and other places, asking. These are the critical questions that our compatriots who are suffering the floods asking. Not common rain harvesting in their homes. Because yes, that will help in reducing their own water bills if they're able to harvest and store the rain. There may be some runoff that will be reduced. But these rains that we are seeing, it's not normal rain harvesting that is going to deal with it. It's the commitments that the political parties that get political office through their manifestos ought to work to ensure. So these are the critical questions that I'm asking the government of the day. Because it cannot be that arising out of the fact that these are matters that we've dealt with over the years, the present government can be excused. Because they knew the issues. And they proffered solutions in their manifesto. That they were going to deal with these issues when they are elected into office. So what is happening to those commitments? Clearly, from what we've seen in the past week, none of these commitments that the government made has been fulfilled, or even in the process or being fulfilled. But of course, when you go and say these things, they will tell you that, well, they have a 4-year mandate. But the people who are suffering can't wait till 2028 before they ask the questions.
But some of the assemblies have been doing the desilting and stuff.
You see, my own constituency where I come from, in the past 2 weeks, the MP and the NADBO director are all over radio fighting over who is responsible for desilting. You go to communities like Isaman in Jamobekeni for the past 2 weeks, consistently. So what happened to the desilting that the government promised it was going to enable the assemblies undertake? But I know that some of these things are not mere desilting. They require engineering, they require resources. And the government knew it. The time that they were making these commitments, they knew. All the designs, the engineering designs have been sitting in the assemblies for years. They knew it. They've been in government before. On top of that, they knew. So what are the solutions that they are proffering? As far as I'm concerned, that's what the people who are suffering and cleaning their homes this morning, these are the questions that they are asking. And it's important that the government ups its game. They did not win the election only because of exchange rate stability or reduction in inflation. Many other social commitments were made by this government to the people of Ghana. And they owe a duty to deliver on those commitments. You can't blame any previous government. Because if their work was satisfactory, they wouldn't have lost an election. The man who is in the driving seat now are the ones who ought to answer to the people of Ghana why 2 budgets down the line, we haven't seen the investment that is going to go into the commitments that they made to deal with these problems that the people are suffering. That's the question.
Boss. Look, I think it is important. It is imperative to hold governments accountable. When political parties make commitments and we vote for them, it is our right to insist that those commitments are met and so on. So I can understand where the Honorable Ejapa Mesa is coming from. But I think it's also important that we are realistic. Okay. You cannot expect any government, even if the government is made up of angels from heaven, to meet all their election promises within 17 months. That's an unrealistic expectation. Okay. It's a completely unrealistic expectation. I mean, you yourself have said, from the newspaper clippings that you read, that this problem has persisted since 1960. That's your own claim. Since 1960, when Nkrumah was in power. From your own, claims, from the newspaper clips and so on. So how do you expect that the problem which has persisted since 1960 will be resolved in 17 months? Governance is not magic. Governance is not magic at all. If governance were magic, then with a wave of a wand, you could get the problems resolved. What I want to know is whether indeed today there are some measures or some policy perspectives which indicate that the problem is being dealt with or will be dealt with. For me, that is sufficient. You understand? Now, nobody can say that the problem of perennial flooding will be solved just by harvesting rainwater. That would be so pedestrian, you understand? Nobody can say that. Nobody can say that the reintroduction of peri-urban agriculture will stop the problem of perennial flooding. It cannot. These are measures which can be taken at the individual level. They can also be taken at the planning level. If our planners decide what kind of house you build in what kind of location. And it can become part of our planning goals that for every house which is built in Accra, that house necessarily must have a rain harvesting system. It can become part of planning and so on. Ultimately, I indicated that people like me, mere journalists and so on, cannot resolve this crisis. We may not even know how to resolve this crisis. But ultimately, there's a planning question, it's an engineering question. There's a question that governmental power, ought to be used in answering. And like my brother, Honorable Ejapa Mensah, I would insist that the current government, like future governments and past governments, the citizens have a right to insist that their governments, whether they are current, whether they are future governments and so on, do the things which will bring relief to them. But in making that insistence, we also ought to be realistic. You understand? That's my take.
All right. I agree with you 100% that some of these matters cannot be resolved in 17 months. And that's why I said that, well, when some of us speak, they will tell us that they have 4 years. I agree. But you see, every government, and before I even go to every government, it's also true that you cannot fulfill all your manifesto commitments within 17 months. In fact, to a large extent, you can't fulfill all of them within the 4-year cycle. Because the commitments that you make, reality will hit when you come into government. But in all of this, there is what we call priority. The government prioritizes the drainage systems that it knew in 2024 was going to happen. The rains were going to come in 2025 and 2026. They would have put his money where his mouth was. This is the government that is spending huge sums of money building 24-hour markets that they expect people to go and do what during the day and go and sell at night. The president has committed funds to build 261 markets. That's his priority. So I'm saying that if the government prioritized building of drains to deal with the perennial water problem that it knew was going to happen during its tenure, and that these people who are suffering can't wait till 2028 before they ask the question, it would have put the money where it is required. But that's the issue. I'm not seeing it. See. Where is it? Where are the drains? Where are the drains? As far as I'm concerned,
this is the regional minister, Honorable Okulu, visiting Ramsar sites, demolition buildings that are on
Ramsar sites. They are the drains.
No, there are places.
I read. It was deliberate. I went to their manifesto. I didn't speak out of 10. I went to the documents that they signed with the people of Ghana, the social contract, their manifesto, and read specific interventions that they themselves had outlined. Sure. I'm saying that I don't see the government funding those interventions that he proposed to deal with the problems that is causing the suffering of Ghanaians today. You think that yes, it cannot be solved in the stroke of a hand. I agree. But I'm saying that are we seeing clear signs on the ground of a government that is really committed to delivering on this mandate? I don't.
You see, my brother.
That's it.
My brother. Life sometimes gets very interesting. If Honorable Ejapa Mensah had landed in this studio this morning from outer space, where he had been for the past 2,000 years, I can understand what he's saying. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, this was a man who was in government.
Yes.
17 months ago.
100%.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
17 months ago. He's not coming from outer space. He had the mandate of the people of Ghana, which included solving the problems he's discussing now. Now, if your government had acted the way you want the Mahama government to act, would the Mahama government have come to meet a problem in the first place? You were sitting there for 8 years. If you did what you are saying government should do today, there would not even have been a problem for somebody to come and deal with. So please, let's be realistic. I understand that your government could not do everything. In much the same way that I understand that today, the Mahama administration cannot do everything and anything. There are constraints. And you, having been a deputy minister before, having been a member of parliament before, and on top of everything, being a very articulate lawyer and so on, you should know these things. Let's stop this attitude.
You see, ordinarily, I will agree with you.
Okay. Okay.
Ordinarily. But much in the same way that you say that if Akufo-Addo's government has solved these problems, it is the same way that I can put it to you that if Mr. Mahama's government between 2012 and 2016 had solved these problems, much in the same way that we can go back and back and back and back and back.
That if
please. Yeah, we can go all the way back to 1960.
Yes.
But I'm saying that at the time that Mr. Mahama and his team were putting together this manifesto, which has a 4-year timeline, they knew the issues.
Just as you knew.
I don't have a problem. That's why we're not saying, oh, I'm not in government though. My party is not in government. My party lost an election. And I'm saying that Mr. Mahama and his government made promises knowing exactly what was on the ground. That's my point. You can go back to Akufo-Addo's government all you want. It did not make these promises in the 2024 manifesto elections of the NDC. The NDC government did. So we'll hold them. Whether you like it or not, or anybody. The point is this. At the time that they were doing this manifesto, they knew that these were the issues that we were confronting this country. And they promised that when they are voted into office, they are going to solve them. You can't go back and say that if Akufo-Addo had solved it. Why? If Akufo-Addo had solved it, would they have put it in their manifesto? Or if Mr. Rawlings and Mr. Mahama himself had solved it, would it have come into their 2024 manifesto?
Or if Buzia had solved
whatever. I'm saying we can go back all the way to 1920 in pre-independence. Exactly. I don't mind. Yeah. The point is this. At the time that the commitment was being made, they knew the problems were there. And they promised that they were going to introduce these interventions to deal with them. I'm saying that, yes, I agree. It cannot all be done in 17 months, no doubt. But where are the building blocks that tell me that indeed and in fact the government is committed to resolving these problems? I don't see it. That's the point.
Uncle, yes, touch on it so that we'll move on to the next.
You see, Ejapa is my friend and brother. He knows that. Okay. I don't want to explain how he's my friend and brother. So when you meet him on a platform like this, sometimes you exercise a lot of restraint, you know. And I'm struggling to exercise some restraint. Did you hear him? That in the last election, only the NDC saw this as a priority. And that they didn't make these promises.
Not at all. That's not what I said.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
But if you misquote me, I have to correct you. That's not what I said.
You have the opportunity to do that.
Very well.
So at least let me finish saying what
maybe some of the listeners will leave. So if I need to let you know that that's not what I said.
Okay, no problem.
Before some people leave there.
But you said that you didn't make these promises. They made those promises.
No. Well, go ahead.
My brother, if your technical team is able to play back what you just said, it will be fantastic. You said that you didn't make these promises, so we can't hold you responsible. What? You didn't see the need to construct drains? You didn't see the need to construct water reservoirs which will hold water and so on in order to avoid flooding? You didn't even see the need. My goodness. What else should I say? I have nothing to say.
This is pure mischief. Oh, no. With respect, this is pure mischief.
You just said...
Because, please, you say I should interject you, so please, you don't interject. Please. Pure mischief. Because the point I'm making is this, that regardless of MPP what they said, MPP is not the party in government. So you can't hold MPP to anything that he says in this manifesto. It is the ruling party, the party that won the election, whose manifesto that any Ghanaian can interrogate.
That's right.
So why are you saying that we didn't see a problem?
You said it.
Please.
You said.
I'm speaking.
It is the
but they made it in their manifesto and they won.
Did you make the promise?
We didn't win, so our manifesto is immaterial.
Did you make the
We did not win an election. We don't have any social contract with the people of Ghana.
Agree.
So our manifesto is immaterial.
Did you say that you didn't
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't. I'm saying that the manifesto that the Ghanaian people can hold account for is the NDC manifesto.
Sure.
And the commitments that they made is what I'm interrogating.
Correct.
So what has that MPP got to do with anything?
I'm not the one.
What has a party whose manifesto was rejected by the people of Ghana got to do with anything?
I'm not the one.
It is not material to the conversation that we are having on this table today. Because the MPP is not in office. Whatever we said, the people of Ghana did not buy it. They bought the NDC manifesto. So don't bring MPP in.
Am I the one bringing it?
But you bought it. We brought us in. Okay, if I said any set suggestion, it probably was a slip. But I didn't even. That's what I'm saying. The point I'm making is clear. No, please, no. The point I'm making is very. Please. You understood precisely what I meant. You did. I know you. You're a very experienced senior man to this game. You understood me perfect. But I know you. You and I, we go way back.
And you know me as a mischief.
No, on this particular subject here, you are playing mischief. Because you understood the point that I was making. That the manifesto that the good people of this country can hold in asking questions is certainly not the MPP manifesto. MPP had programs from archaeology to zoology. All the problems that this country has. You proffer solutions. Yes, including drains. We mentioned Pualugu in our previous manifesto. We couldn't get the funding to do it. True. Right? And it's in this manifesto as well that they're going to do it. So, in year 3, we'll start asking the questions. Now, where is Pualugu down? Have you heard any signs of they even proceeding with anything Pualugu? But they said it. And Bagri, it's all here. And what you call it, the other one. One other down. They mentioned it all here, it's all here. I'm saying that what we can ask questions on is the manifesto of the NDC. These were commitments not written by me or His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or even President Akufo-Addo. Mr. Mahama, the president, and his team put this down in their documents. I'm asking the questions. And you say MPP didn't identify these problems. What has that got to do with anything?
So I beg you, before you come in.
All right.
Listen, who can disagree with Honorable Ejapa Mensah that today what is in issue is the NDC manifesto? Nobody can disagree. Okay? The MPP manifesto was rejected. President Mahama was elected.
Yes.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was not elected. So what is in issue today is the NDC manifesto and the extent to which it is being implemented. I agree with you. Nobody can disagree with you. Okay. Now, I'm not going to push this matter because you have said that what you said may have been a slip. I want to accept it as a slip and then we'll move on. You understand? So I'm not even going to do the analysis. Once you have come to admit that there was a slip, it was a slip, let's move on. I'm not going to waste my time on a slip. Slip of tongue, slip of mouth, slip of brain, whatever it was a slip. Put it aside, let's move forward.
Uncle, we are touching on how the government of the day can manage the situation. But how can we do this education? The attitude of we Ghanaians.
How is that a problem? First of all, I am conscious of the fact that I'm not a planner. I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm not an engineer. The only qualification I have is a very simple, ordinary journalist who happens to be a citizen living in Ghana and therefore suffers the consequences of lack of planning and poor engineering. Okay. So to the extent that we've identified this problem as an engineering and planning problem, we have to look at the right quarters, to solve the problem for us. You understand? The problem exists. The rains have only begun, and look at the mayhem everywhere. It's troubling. It's problematic. The problem has to be dealt with. You understand? I don't like this idea of blaming citizens. It is the citizens' fault. What citizen? If every problem was to be resolved by the citizens on their own, why would we go for elections every 4 years and elect a government? We elect a government because there ought to be a central authority dreaming, solving these problems, controlling affairs, and so on. So this is not a citizen's problem. This problem is not caused by citizens. This problem has been caused by years, many years of governmental neglect and lack of action. And it is time to resolve it. You understand?
Because we see people still, desilting their solid waste into open drains.
That is not the problem. That's not the problem. This is a way of passing responsibility back to the ordinary citizen, whose taxes run a government, whose votes bring people into power, and so on.
But Uncle, after paying your taxes, you have to be a responsible citizen. We see videos of people doing that.
My brother, I've lived in Musuku since 2000, the year 2000. Not once have I ever seen anybody in Musuku pouring their rubbish into the drain. And yet Musuku gets flooded. How do you blame the people of Musuku for the flooding that takes place in Musuku?
But we all know the location of Musuku. Musuku is just beneath the hills. So all those flood water come to Musuku. They are supposed to settle.
So you cannot make the claim that it is the people of Musuku who are responsible for the flooding in Musuku. It is not true. There's no basis for it.
I get to, but it differs. In some locations, you can see pure attitudinal something that is causing.
And you think that's the problem?
No, it is part. Some are saying it is part.
If our engineers were working, if our city planners were working, if those responsible for sanitation were working,
environmental and sanitation officers
were working, would we have the problem? Don't blame the citizens. Look, you blame the citizens enough. Poor, innocent citizens. Every time you go and put the blame on them. Why?
Honorable. Well, we are being told this morning that we don't have to blame the citizens. True, I agree. And that this is an issue of many years of governmental neglect. So the people who are suffering the flooding today should endure the suffering until the government, that's what you're saying, that's my conclusion. They should endure the flooding until such time that the government that they elected to manage their affairs, until such time that the government that promised them they had solutions to the issues are ready to deal with the problem and solve it for them. So we wait. But we wait.
That's your.
But that's that's the summary of all that has been discussed here.
No, okay, that's your.
That's because
I disagree with you.
Akufo-Addo and previous governments did not do the drains. That Mr. Mahama and his government, at the time that they were making the promises, knew that the problems hadn't been solved and said that they were going to solve them. Well, they can't wave a magic wand and deal with it in 17 months. 2025, we endured. They knew. 2026 will come. We endured. 2027 will come. Hopefully, then they would have seen our problems sufficiently enough to put the resources that are at their disposal into the areas that will help in relieving us of this suffering. Until then, we'll wait. When they finish their 24-hour markets, then we'll see whether they will get money to do the drains.
But I disagree with you. I disagree with you completely.
What have I said?
I vehemently disagree.
You disagree with me that what?
Okay, now let me show you.
Are you said that they don't have a magic wand to deal with all the problems in 17 months, including the drainage?
No.
So the people are suffering. No. But you say they can't deal with it in 17 months because it's an age-old problem. We hear.
Honorable, the people of Ghana at all times have a duty and a right to insist that politicians keep their promise. And that would include environmental concerns. That would include factors which contribute to perennial flooding and so on. So I insist that the people of Ghana have every right to insist that governments do the right thing. I also recognize that some expectations may be unrealistic. Okay? Some expectations may be unrealistic. And it is important for us to shape expectations within the confines of reality. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. And that is what I think should be the attitude of citizens to government and to the problems that confront them. I've said in the past that if your government, and I'm saying that because of the very strong stance you took and how you positioned yourself, if your government had dealt with this problem, that problem would not be persisting today for another government to come and solve it. And that's true. That's a fact. Okay? They're saying that 17 months is sufficient to solve the problem. When we had 8 years and couldn't solve the problem. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that your insistence that government should be held accountable is absolutely correct. If you don't hold governments accountable, what are we going to end up with? So you are absolutely correct to insist that government should be held accountable.
But you are approbating and reprobating at the same time.
I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, please, you see, in one breath, you are saying that if the Akufo-Addo government had dealt with this problem over the past 8 years, such problem wouldn't exist for the current government to come and deal with. And in another breath, you are saying that we are entitled to hold the government for the commitments that they made.
Yeah.
I can't get it. You see, I'm saying that.
In a similar way, if the wrong
I don't have a problem. Yes, we can go back all the way to 2010.
Exactly.
Or 1910, whichever. You see, let's not make it look as if this is anybody's expectation. It is not the expectation of the people necessarily. It is the commitment that President Mahama and his government made to the people that when you vote for me, this problem that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo couldn't solve, that me myself during my first term I couldn't solve, that Professor Mills couldn't solve, that President Kufuor couldn't solve, that President Rawlings couldn't solve, all the way back to independence. Vote for me. When I come, I will deal with it. It's the present, though, not the history. And I'm saying that if the government was committed, that if this drainage system was a priority for this administration, people will begin to see the signs in their communities that, oh, well, this year the rains have come. The work hasn't concluded, so we may have to bear with the rains. Are we seeing any investment in the sector? Certainly not. Because they are busy building 24-hour markets.
Master, you were drawing attention.
When Makola is not running 24 hours, Makola is already there. It's already there. Abobroshi is there. The market is there. They are not running 24 hours. But somebody is telling me that he has my resources, spending it on building markets that will come around 24 hours. I ask the question, so why? They will allocate it to trade people to own the shops or what? So that when you go and sell your wares in the morning, then you take them out and second shift to come and put the artists in there. Or you compel the people to run 3 shifts with one store owner run 3 shifts. And who will pay their staff if during the night nobody comes by? But we are sitting here watching. Because that's a priority of government. So build 24-hour markets to satisfy their 24-hour Formula 133 that is not jelly. When the people are suffering, when their homes are being flooded, we see it on the screen. But we are told that they have 4 years, they can't be waged away in 17 months. Oh, we endure. In 2028, when we have still around and have strength, we'll ask the questions at that time.
Honorable, thank you very much. Please, Honorable. You see, to be honest with you, and I like to be honest, if I were dealing with this 24-hour economy, I would not start with building markets. And I'm being very honest about it. I would not start with building markets. In fact, I would not even establish an authority, a 24-hour authority. I wouldn't. I think it's a very simple thing to do. You have ministries, you have departments, you have agencies, and so on. They have varying capacities. So the first thing I would have done if I was dealing with it is to have a small secretariat. Issue instructions to ministries, departments, and agencies to indicate what within their scope can do 24-hour economy immediately. And what will be required to do that, and so on. You can start rolling the 24-hour economy within months after the assumption of office. It is possible to do. For example, now we do know that the State Publishing Corporation has started rolling out a 24-hour economy. They didn't need an authority to be able to do that. You understand? We know of directives which have been issued by the Ministry of Health, for some hospitals and so on to start running on the basis of 24-hour economy.
Hospitals have been running 24 hours since Adam.
Yeah, but not all hospitals run on 24 hours. You know that. You understand? We know of the Ports and Harbours Authority and so on. We know of the DVLA and so on who are running. That would have been my approach. You understand? Unfortunately, that is not the approach that this government has adopted. So there can be some genuine criticisms, genuine criticisms of how the program is being approached. However, how does genuine criticisms of 24-hour economy improve the flooding situation in Accra?
It's allocation of resources. The priority. That's what they are expending the resources that they have on.
I see.
Yes. I see. If their priority was drainage systems, they would have invested in the drainage systems to alleviate the suffering of the people. Their priority is markets, so they are building markets. That's the point that I'm making.
Their priority is the big push.
Yes.
So they are doing.
I don't have a problem. Yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all.
Their priority is lowering the rate of inflation. And they shouldn't have done that. They should have concentrated on stopping.
You see, you cannot be selective with the statement that I made. I said here that the government was not elected to only stabilize the FX. Right from the very beginning.
You said it. You said it.
And to lower inflation. Yes. I said it.
And I'm repeating it.
But you're making it look as if to say I'm saying that is not priority. That's how I understand the statement that you are making now.
So the first statement.
So I'm saying that, the government, you are elected to manage every sector. Yeah, so you build roads, by all means. If you have to stabilize the currency, whether it costs us so much billions to achieve that. I have an issue with a particular infrastructure program that I think if your priorities were in favor of saving the people who are suffering from flooding today, should have been government's priority as opposed to market. So, they've heard that we should wait. So
all right, well, thank you very much. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come, we'll try and see if we can deal with this issue, the African Games audits and their implications and matters arising. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come, we'll try and see if we can do this very discussion before we bring the program to a close. We'll be right back.
anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I want to miss you. Me patch your bantama. Matthias.
It's her smile. The fresh breath.
Me Gidi say we use Kel 360 toothpaste. Some me kind.
Kel 360 toothpaste.
Gaskia. Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasan.
Kile kosen. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
Hey, you will see so feeling when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hidradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us, and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Etipon Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming menus. Whether it's business, pleasure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era when love was service. A silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
I'm Kwaba Samuel of Custom Looks, the maker of the fan jersey, and make sure you are watching the World Cup on Metro TV!
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
Welcome back to Good Morning Ghana, and I'm reading a story right away from the City Newsroom. Mustafa Yusuf denies wrongdoing in 579 million Ghana cedis All African Games audit findings. Former Minister for Youth and Sports and Member of Parliament for Yagaba Kubori, Mustafa Yusuf, has responded to an audit. An Auditor General's report on the 13th All-African Games, Accra 2023, which recommends that He and other officials be held responsible for the recovery of over 579 million Ghana cedis linked to alleged financial irregularities. The report commissioned in 2025 cited alleged irregularities including cost inflation, unsupported payment, undelivered goods, and contractual deviations across several expenditure lines such as catering, transport, accommodation, equipment procurement, and infrastructure projects. So this is another matter that we will deal with this morning. I will begin this matter with Ejapa. Honorable.
Unfortunately, Ejapa, just like that.
No, it's fine. It's
Honorable Ejapa.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's a very big man.
Oh, which kind of very big man? It's okay.
So I corrected myself by saying Honorable Ejapa.
Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to read audit report. Save that I've seen some online publications, which is suggestive of the fact that some malfeasance was identified by the Auditor General. I've always maintained that people who hold public office owe a duty to serve in a manner that is above board. So if indeed some people are found to have misconducted themselves, I would expect that the law will take its course. I'm not in the habit of holding brief for anybody. It's just what it is. Okay, but like I said, I do not have the details of the findings. I haven't had the benefit of procuring a copy yet. And I tried to find one. Just so happened that 2 days ago, my son bought me one of my favorite authors' books that I hadn't read for my birthday. So I was consumed in it for the most part of yesterday. But I'm sure that this is developing, and in the coming days, when we get to know the details, then we can chip in, our thoughts as to what the issues are. But my broad comments would be that if some wrongdoing has been established, by all means, hold the people to account and let them account for their stewardship in the organization of the games. That would be it.
All right. Uncle Kwesi, I don't know if you have a thought on it.
I mean, like him, I haven't read this report.
Okay.
I'm very careful about making comments on things that I don't know. The point is that there have also been instances where Auditor General reports or portions of the Auditor General's report have been made public. And the Auditor General itself has come forward to say that, we were wrong. We mistook some names for some other names and so on. So one ought to be very careful about making comments about such disclosures. But the amount of money involved is quite huge. The amount of money involved is quite huge. And the infractions suggested are worrying. It appeared to be that lack of administrative supervision or maybe willful attempts to dissipate public funds, may be at play. But as I said, I haven't read the full report. And to be fair to those who have been accused, I think that one has to be careful what one says at this stage. So I'm cautious. Like him, I'm very cautious.
All right. Let's see if we can look at the launch of Ghana's new e-visa regime to boost trade and tourism. And I recently went to Togo. And I remember we were told in this country that when you have your Ghana card, going to Togo, Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire, you just show them your card. But when you experience these things, when you experience, these happenings, you find out that the story is totally different.
You mean your Ghana card was not accepted?
No. Obejo. We will not tell you that because you are having a Ghana card, enter into Cote d'Ivoire. Whatever you are supposed to pay, you pay. So I don't know I don't know how we do the conversation and how we implement it.
Well,
because on paper,
e-visa is actually not a new thing. I mean, there are many countries where you can obtain an e-visa and travel there. It makes traveling much easier for travelers. And if it's being introduced in Ghana, I would think that is a good thing. Anything that makes traveling easy is a good thing. Except that we have to understand that some travelers travel for purposes which are not edified, which are not holistic, and so on. So, in addition to making traveling easy, we ought to put in place security mechanisms which ensure that bad people are held at bay. I've been very worried about, this visa-free arrangements that the current Minister for Foreign Affairs seems to be promoting everywhere, and I'm worried. I'm worried because, for example, Ghana, we have a stop list. The security services, they have a stop list, like most countries have a stop list. And those who go on the stop list are usually criminal elements. Those who are engaged in drug smuggling, human trafficking, all kinds of things. Those who are known to have subversive intentions, as far as Ghana is concerned, are on the stop list. So when you apply for a visa to enter Ghana, one of the things which is checked is that your name is checked against the stop list. Okay. When you have a visa-free regime, travelers don't go through that checklist. You understand what I'm saying? So you can end up with people who are on the stop list entering the country, and there can be very devastating consequences for us and so on. So I believe that we should make travel as easy as possible, but at the same time, we should put in measures which ensure that people we don't want in Ghana are kept outside Ghana for security reasons. That's my attitude.
All right. Honorable Ejapa Mesa.
It took me a bit because I'm really confused. So on 18th December 2024, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo granted executive approval for multilateral visa waiver arrangement for all African countries. What it meant was that anybody who held a passport issued by an African country did not require a visa to enter Ghana. Yesterday, the president launched an e-visa application platform. Is it then to suggest that the visa waiver that was granted African passport holders has been scrapped?
No, it cannot mean that.
So what does it mean?
It means that those who still require visas to visit Ghana can apply electronically. That's all it means.
But the policy that was approved by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was to the effect that you did not require a visa, and by extension, you did not have to apply for a visa to enter Ghana.
But Asians, for example.
No, I'm talking African people who held passports issued by African country.
That one is still valid. The e-visa means that Europeans, for example, who want to visit Ghana can apply electronically. Asians who want to visit Ghana can apply electronically.
So this is a quote. This is a quote.
Yeah.
Effective immediately, all holders of African passports traveling to Ghana for business or tourism will apply for visas exclusively via the new online e-visa platform, and they will pay no visa fee. President John Mahama announced on AUB Monday 25th, 2026. So
if this
effectively
is correct,
yes,
then what you're saying has some grounding. If this quotation is correct.
So yes, let's, because I haven't seen any counter.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then it means we've taken one step back.
If that is the case.
Yes.
If that is the case.
Because as part of broader AFCFTA African unity integration agenda, in December 2024, people who held these passports issued by African governments were exempt from visa into Ghana. They do not require a visa to come into Ghana at all. I agree that some protocols are required during the visa process so that criminals and things can be excluded, right? But that in itself can be applied at the point of entry. Okay, so, waiving the visa requirement in itself does not necessarily take away the right of the state to check people who are on stop list and all those kinds of things. But it would be extremely strange to me that that policy has now been reversed and in its place an e-visa regime has been introduced. What it then would mean is that, well, rather than go to the Ghana mission to apply for a visa, which had been waived as of December 2024, do it online now and not pay a fee. I think it will be setting us back. But if it's a broader e-visa arrangement, which I know have been in the works with Ghana Tourism Authority and Ghana Immigration Service, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because of the, in fact, post year of return, the conversation has been around taking away the physical requirement of people submitting their passports to our missions and introduce rather an e-visa mechanism to ensure, that we increase tourist traffic into Ghana. It's still unclear as to what really is happening. Okay, if it's e-visa regime that has been introduced for the broader visitors from across the world coming into Ghana, by all means, it's a continuation of a policy that I believe has been in place, and certainly it will be in the right direction. But if it's reversing the visa-free requirement for Africans, then I think that it will be taking us back, and it really won't augur well for our.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I have a couple of messages. Let me go through them. Godfred Ahianyo says, "What actions did you take regarding the drainage system when you were in PA? You decided to build a cathedral." Godfred Ahianyo. Marcus Kweku, Mr. Ejapa, no other party made empty and hollow promises more than the NPP for 8 solid years. Marcus Kweku sends that one. And Bashiru Razak, it's like saying because other places are flooding, we shouldn't build market or hospital. In the Ashanti region, we need market, hospitals, and clinic. Bashira Razak, and he sends this one too. No proper drainage system. Even those who are building currently are not even considering proper drainage system. Yet, we have people who need to look at all these who take salaries every month. These are some of the messages coming from viewers. They are all on the flooding nature of Accra in some parts of our country. I don't know if we can look at this very matter before we conclude. The gold board issue, they renewed gold trading licenses recently. And I don't know if we can go into that matter before we end our discussion this morning.
Look, I think you're being unfair to us. Okay. To start with, there are no newspapers to read, which will provide us with context, background information. Just reading topics and asking us to comment is most unfair to us. Just before I comment, I need to see the facts.
Yeah.
I need to comment on something. I don't comment on empty air. So please, if you can close the show now.
So this accusation or this, we'll blame our producer for that.
No,
because I was thinking,
you can't blame the producer.
I was thinking he gave you all the topics.
You can't blame the producer. Newspapers did not come out today. So we don't have newspapers to review. Okay. So the best we could have done was to have some notice of the topics. And when I came in, I was told of 3 topics that we're going to discuss.
Oh, okay.
So I started reflecting on them. Flooding, you can discuss and so on.
Okay.
But what you are raising,
so this
what
is
are the facts
this
that
is
we're
a
going to discuss?
miscommunication kind of something.
So what you are raising about gold board, what are the facts that we are going to discuss?
Oh,
What
okay.
are the issues?
So these
I
are
don't
the
know.
topics I was handed over to. See, so I was thinking.
And it's unfair to me.
Okay,
to come and
I
sit
agree.
Here and say discuss gold board. What am I discussing about gold board?
Uncle Kwesi, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Unless you have some information you can.
I haven't
discuss.
even heard about this.
I agree with you. So it is it's a miscommunication kind of something. So
this week I've been paying attention to myself.
To yourself. So you didn't read that much. Okay, thank you very much. And I think we can conclude on this note. Thank you very much for coming.
Sure.
Honorable Ejapa Mesa, we thank you very much for coming. Today is a holiday, but you were able to.
It's my birthday week, but you dragged me here.
So former Deputy Energy Minister, former Tourism Minister, former MP for Second D. So Honorable Andrew Ejapa Mesa, thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure, as always.
Uncle Kwesi Pratt Jr., former Managing News Editor, Insight Newspaper. We are privileged you also came. Thank you very much for coming. My name is RSM Kofido Lawson, and I was sitting in for Audu.
Regimental Sergeant Major.
No, my RSM is not the military one.
Boy Scouts.
No. My RSM is a different one. Happy birthday to Mr. Philip Quarte of Philip Consult and Jimpa, from your wife, Mrs. Belinda Quarte, and Penelope and Penel. They sent this message. Happy birthday once ago.
Wishing happy birthday. I think that it would be appropriate for you to also wish my good friends,
okay,
the minority leader Afenyo Markin, and then Hassan Tampuli. Today's their birthday. Happy birthday to you guys.
Okay.
Enjoy your special day.
All right.
Today is Afenyo Markin's birthday.
Today.
Afenyo Markin.
Yes.
So what is he doing?
So this is where we part company this morning. Barkadi Salah once again to our Muslim brothers and sisters. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time, and Moro will be back. Thank you very much for watching. Good morning.
Chicken.